Hi, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. I hope you've had a restful weekend, and I also hope that you are keeping warm. Wow, it's been very cold. You can see I'm all wrapped up and I'm usually not this cold, but wow, this weekend in England has been very windy. I don't know what the name of the storm is. I think it was called a storm D. It starts with a D, but it was really stormy. So yeah, um, I hope you have kept warm. I'm glad it was the weekend it happened. Imagine if I would be forced to go out and technically put myself at risk, really, because trees were falling. Like I had to go out yesterday, and oh my goodness gracious me, I was driving and I could literally feel the wind move my car. That was quite. I think the warning was that we should drive slowly or slower. And I went to my son's school for a Christmas fair. It's Christmas time. There's celebrations everywhere. So I went to see him, and I was fortunate to meet. I met other parents, which was amazing to see. I met him with his classmates and his friends, which was also good to see. You know, and um, that was what I did yesterday. And then driving again, the wind was winding. Like I was like holding the steering, like, okay, car, don't move, don't fall. But anyway, we made it home safely, thank God. And today the storm continues. Wet, 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 rain, 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 pouring, downpour, 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 downpour. So honestly, I decided to stay at home today. I didn't go to church. Thought I should get some rest. It's been a very busy week, and the week ahead is also quite busy work wise. I don't know about you. What about you? What do you think your week would be like? Is it going to be busy, or is it going to be less busy? I know some offices are rounding down for the Christmas, but not all offices. Mine, I'm potentially going to work till the very last day before Christmas. But anyway, that is me. That is my yours has been good and been fruitful. Today is me coming to share about how I run my business daily, because one of the things or one of the inquiries I get is I am so busy. How am I going to be able to run my business or this business alongside my day job? What do I do and how do I navigate this whole process if we were to join? In fact, many reasons why some people haven't really started is because they are concerned about time. And I usually tell them the honest truth is you make priority for what is important for you. If you think something is very important and it's going to give you value, then you make time for it, no matter how little. Because remember, little drops of water, they say, make a mighty ocean. So you start small and you make time for it. But having said that, that is, motivational speech, which is true. It is also important. But I'm just here to share some practical tips on how I spend my own day with my business. So there is no day I do not do anything on my business. But I work full time and there has to be a balance. I must be seen to be using my time effectively. I cannot use the time I'm supposed to be working for my employer to be doing my business. No, that is wrong. So what I tend to do is basically within the business we have blueprints, we have plans, we have plans that and systems that the business has potentially set up for us to help us manage some of these things. But there is some work that we have to do, which of course is one of them is first of all, we need to, follow with inquiries. We also need to schedule our posts, because the online space is our marketplace. We have to show our face every day. Do you understand? And how do we show our face in the marketplace, in the online place, on the platforms? It's by sharing posts, by posting regularly, sharing content. Thankfully, within our platform, and even everyone knows, we are able to schedule our posts. So that's not difficult. So sometime, around today, about this evening, this is what I do. And it might work depending on different people's family dynamics or their own personal dynamic. If you were to start this business today, you might find that you prefer to work on Sunday mornings before you go to church. Some people, I have friends or business partners that start their business from 5 a.m. They wake up at 5 a.m., do before they then delve into the activities of the day. So there is a place of planning. So you already need to know what you want to schedule or post for the next week or even month. There are so many tools out there, and use that to schedule our posts. So that is us putting our face there. That is us showing up for our business. And scheduling your posts, it doesn't take too much time as long as you know what you want to do. We also take advantage of planners. We have planners. We have guidance. We kind of like have guidance on what to do. And of course, that's a guidance. You can do whatever works or whatever you feel rocks your boat. The key thing is showing up. Now, I personally would schedule my post on a Sunday. Excuse me. I personally will schedule my posts on a Sunday. And then when I'm working, I'm focused on my work. I have break in between lunchtime. When it's lunchtime, I then pick up my business phone and see if I have any inquiries. And if I have any inquiries at that time, I respond to them. And once I've responded to them, I stop after my lunch break at work because it's my lunch break. I can use it to do whatever I want. I then focus on my day job on day. And when I finish my day job, I then come out live like this to have a conversation with you. So it is most times I tend to come out around 9 p.m. because after my day job, I have to kind of like attend to the kids or to do one thing or the other around the house. And then I come out live already before the day begins or before the week begins. I already know what I am going to be talking about, and I have started forming, my conversation. Although I try to let it be a natural conversation because I don't want to appear too scripted. I have ideas. I work in bullet points in my brain, and I use that to have to speak. So I have my topics of conversation, on a daily basis. There are some days that I do not have anything ready and I just go with the flow. I can talk about how I feel or how my day went, which you must have seen by now. Yeah, I do that. And then as I'm streaming here, there are platforms you can use to stream to other of your other business platform. That's another advantage of live. So I don't need to separately make videos for each platform. No, I stream to several platforms. And yeah, that's it. So when I'm at work, I'm focused on my work. When it's break time or evening time when I'm relaxing, I'm trying to think about things I could do within my business that I can implement within the business. And I always have a book and paper. If you know me, you always see me with a book and pen because ideas come from when you least expect. So whenever I see an idea, something comes to mind, I just write it down because if I forget, that's it is gone. So I have to write down. So I go around with a book and paper always. Always. Even when I go to take the children to the swimming pool, I'm holding a book and pen because you have to take advantage of. Thank you, Sis Christiana. Thank you so much for joining. I have to take advantage of, those aha moments to make a note of things that come to my mind when I am, out and about. But that's how I run my day-to-day business. And it's still, there's really not much to be done. Like not much, and it doesn't take too much of it. Of course, there are things I would love to do a bit more, be a bit more creative about things. But of course, I'm constrained because I have a full-time job, but it doesn't stop me from doing something. And when I have a pocket of time, maybe I'm on leave, for example, or I don't work, I'm not working on that day, then I spend that time thinking, okay, what can I do differently? How can I, because that's what every business requires. You think, you try to stand out, you try to do something a bit different, although still following the blueprint, you think creatively. That's one of the things I love about this business opportunity because it's making my creative. Never knew it existed. So yes. So if you're out there and you're wondering, oh, how am I going to run my business? I've just described mine for you. It's not that complex. Yes, it requires dedication, it requires sacrificing. So, for example, I can't even remember the last time I watched Netflix. I do have a Netflix subscription, but I can't remember when I last watched Netflix because I would rather be watching a training or watching a replay of a session from our business group, you know, than watching Netflix. So that's a sacrifice of which I don't have any regrets, to be honest, because this business is important to me. I want it to grow. And for it to grow, you need to make sacrifices, and that's it. So it is, what are you willing to sacrifice? You hardly see me scrolling. Previously, before I started business, I was always scrolling on social media for fun, for comedy. But now I'm intentional. I don't watch comedy skits, maybe one or two, but I always tend to refocus why am I here. So I look at other, especially in my community, to see if I can take away a thing or two and I apply it to mine. I also, not just people in my community, I also look outside because there are other businesses on the internet. On the internet, it's not just ours. There are many others. You just have to find it and you will see. And I try to see, although they are not exactly related to us, the same thing, but in terms of content creation, in terms of how quality of the videos, in terms of what to talk about, you just get inspiration from others, really. So I do that sometimes. Yeah, that's how my day, is. Not much, but because we have most of the work for us, I'm able to put in as little as this and still get results. Of course, the results I get will not be compared to someone that spends the whole day, because there are things I could do. I could actually do it as a full-time job if I had the means to. And there are many of us that are doing it as a full-time job. You can't compare what they've put in as on the full time from morning till evening to me that's putting in on average of an hour or two a day, right? It is uncomparable. That is why there is always a disclaimer. If you pay attention, they will always say results depend on what you put in. So if you are sitting down there and waiting for me to show results, you don't compare yourself with me. Do what is good for you. I work full time. You might not be working full time. You might be working half day, half part time. You would have more time than me. And once you put yourself into it, once you put yourself into it and spend more time, you will definitely get results to invest in the business. Unlike myself, I am content with my pace. I am absolutely content with my pace because there is nothing I can do. I have looked at it from my own perspective and I know that I'm giving it my best shot based on the resources and the time I have available. I've sacrificed everything that is sacrificable. The only thing I will not sacrifice is spending time with my children or spend time being present for their activities where I can. So I have to go to work. I do have to go to work and I need to focus on my job, right? But I can also do it on the side, but it's just at a slower pace than someone that is probably a stay-at-home mom. Even a stay-at-home mom is not that free because looking after a child is not easy. But someone that is maybe perhaps looking for employment, they haven't got a job yet and they're trying to find out what they can do, or someone that for whatever reason they are at home and they're not working, they have all the time. So I want to encourage you today. Don't sit on the fence. Don't keep looking at me and waiting for me to come out and blow my own trumpet before you decide, share my result. Because I am making progress. I know it's only me that knows my bank account. You don't know it, but I can tell you that I'm doing it. And unfortunately, I can't show it to you because it's mine. It's mine. I don't know how to show that to you. If we were the America now, like in America, they pay them in checks. We don't get checks in England. They pay straight into our account. I will be showing you my checks, but I don't have checks to show. Maybe I'll print my credit notes. I think maybe my credit note is what will help you people to understand that I'm receiving something. But anyway, that's on the side. My point is just simple. It is doable. No matter how tight your time is, it is down to you to make out the time for it. And once you make out the time for it, no matter how little, just think about it. If I can sacrifice this time for the next 2 to 3 years so that I can live the next 20 years comfortably, why not? Why not? I will stop watching Netflix for the next 2 to 3 years. That time I used to watch a movie, I will use it to do something else, on my business. Why not? Because you know that it will pay off in the long term. In 3 years' time, you would even need to sit down and be talking on this video like this. Do you understand? Because you will be comfortable enough to, share. The results will tell. That's just the truth. You will see it. It will become very, very, very obvious to everyone that you are progressing and you're making good success. So therefore, some of the decisions you make would be easy. I haven't come here to tell you that I've quit my job. No, I haven't quit my job because I'm not there yet. But maybe one day I will. The day I tell you I quit my job, well, you know that this business is now taking care of it's paying my job salary and even more for me to do that every month. So what's not to like? But my encouragement today is simple. Yesterday I told you we have 24 days to the end of the month. Today we have 23 days to the end of the month. Do you prioritize you? Build something for yourself. Build something for your generation. Build something so that you can break free from this continuous cycle. I don't know how else to explain it, but how do you explain you wake up in the morning, you go to work, you work for 12 to 12 hour, 12 shift, 12-hour shift. So you start from 7 to 7, you come back home at 7, you're knackered, completely tired. You don't even have time for your children. You come home, you have a wash, you eat, you try to relax, you sleep off. Tomorrow again, the next day again, you go out, you do the same thing. Honestly, it does take a toll on one's health. It does take a toll on one's life. That's why some of us are looking older than our ages. Yes, I'm saying it. That's why we look older than our ages, because we are working and working and working. No rest, stressed all the time. But yes, the beginning of everything is always difficult. But with time, with consistency, you find things a lot easier. And when you start to yield return, you can then cut down on your hours and focus on something that is lifelong and would help you to be more present for your family, rest more, which means you will be in better health. Because even in the long shift, we forget about our diet. We just eat whatever we see. We don't take care of ourselves. So yes, in the first few weeks or the first few months, you might find it difficult because you're juggling your shifts plus this business, trying to get it all started and set up. But I tell you the honest truth, it gets easier. It does get easier. It really does get easier. So don't give up. Focus on what it is that is, why are you doing it in the first instance? Let that be your inspiration. Let that be your guide, and you will be fine. But breaking free from those cycle is the most important, because you want to get back in health. You want to reduce yourself or relieve yourself of stress. So please come in again and have a look. 23 more days to the end of 2024. There is no better time to start than now. I have stopped believing in New Year resolutions because it's just a farce. Just sure, my New Year is now. In terms of resolutions now, it doesn't mean I don't believe in it. I do, but when I just realize that doing New Year resolution is just a fad. But if you do it outside of the whole New Year thing, you find that you keep at it. So I've just shared how I run my business daily. I hope it inspires you to consider starting. Don't think you don't have time. Don't think it's not possible. It's doable. Everybody that have started, most of them are working. All of us are still working. I know there's a lady in Canada. She's working on a government project, a Canadian project to build a bridge. I don't know the name of the places, but she's building a bridge because she's an engineer. Project construction engineer. She's working day in, day out. But guess what? She's still running her business, because you know what? The business is important to her as well. She's a construction engineer. There are doctors, they have their long shift. And she's even up till now that she's gotten to the point where she can come and say, you know what, I'm just going to stop working. But she's determined to finish the project. I think it's a 7. And I think the 8 year project is the 8 years is going to be now. So she was in the middle of the project, like 3 or 4 years into the project when she started running this business. And she's been in the business for over about 4 years now. She's now, comfortable. But I think she's committed to finishing the project. Then she probably may decide to stay at home and look after her twin children. But my point is, she's busy as a construction engineer, but yet she was running her business. There are medical doctors. You know how doctors are busy in the United Kingdom, but they are still running their business. We have pharmacists. You know how they are busy in the United Kingdom, but they are still doing their business. So why not you? They're doing it now. The pharmacist has even retired. Like, she's stopped working as a pharmacist, shift here and there just to keep her license going. But if she didn't start at that point, and that's just the point, you just have to start from somewhere. The beginning days are tough, but keep persevering, and you would you would get the place when it gets easier. So thank you very much for joining. If you're going to catch the replay, thank you. Let me know where you're watching from. And then it's never too late to start. My encouragement for you is to get started. You just need 30 to 1 hour a day. That's all you need. You don't need too much time in the beginning. Like, yeah, if you can put in more, fine. But if you don't, it's fine. 1 hour a day is enough. I'm telling you, 1 hour a day is enough. Don't be discouraged. It's a new week. Let us be guided. Let us remember that you're going to work for somebody else. You're helping them to build their own. When are you going to start building your own? Let that time be now. And before I go, I am Lillian. You know me, I like saying this. I enjoy what I do, helping working parents and professionals start and set up their own online business with a view to them breaking free from the 9 to 5 grind. That is what I do as a digital business mentor, if that is what their dream is. So if that is what your dream is, this is where you should be. If you've never run a business before, this is where you should start. And I hope to see you soon. Thank you, and God bless.